This is episode 10 of It Just Has to Work. And I've had my Chinese diesel heater for a little while now. And in episode 6, you saw where I got it, and I used it in various outbuildings. Episode 7, I set it up for emergency heat in the house. Now, when I did that, I noticed that when I first started it up, for the first 3 minutes as it was warming up, I could smell diesel. And I thought I had an exhaust leak, but I did not. I probably had it from day one, but when I had it in the outbuildings, I never smelled it because all those old buildings leak like sieves. So I did a little search on the internet, and I'm not the only one that has this problem. This is how I solved it, along with a couple other revelations that I'll show at the end of this video. Now, I'm not going to show how to disassemble the heater. That's been done to death on the internet. Everybody has shown how to take it apart. You can look it up. But anyway, here is the 5K heater, and those red circles show the 4 screws that hold the head on the burn chamber. Now what happens is the Chinese don't tighten them down correctly. I don't think they understand what a torque wrench is. Each of the 4 on mine and some of the others on the internet, you can turn them anywhere between 1/3 and 1/2 a turn more to snug them down. So what I think is happening is because they're not tightening them down, the pressure builds up as the thing starts to burn, and it leaks exhaust out. Now, as soon as the body gets good and warm, it swells and seals the gasket, and then the smell goes away. So, as you can see in this next picture here, I just took a 4mm Allen and a ratchet and snugged the 4 down, but somewhere between 1/3 and 1/2 a turn. Now that just solved my problem, but getting the heater out of the plastic case created another problem that the Chinese had done. You can see here, when I was removing the 4 bottom bolts, 3 of them had been over tightened and the studs pulled out. I only had 1 that stayed in the way it was supposed to. So you can see here, there's my 3. So what I did was I grabbed each stud with vice grips, spun the nuts off, and then I proceeded to put them back in. So you take your 2 nuts and you put them back to back and tighten them down. Then you screw basically it's a bolt now, you screw that into the base of the heater until it's snug. Then you go ahead and separate the nuts with a couple 10mm wrenches, then spin those 2 nuts off, and then rinse and repeat till you have all 4 studs put back in correctly. And then you just take a 10mm deep well that you use to get the heater off the plate in the first place and tighten them back down, but don't raunch on them, just get them snug. Now the next thing that I discovered, because I have the new style controller, as you saw in my Essential Information series, the video is entitled Definitive New Style Chinese Diesel Controller Commands. So with the new controller, I can't do a lot of the things that the old controller could do, like adjust the fan speed or adjust the pump frequency. So all I have is H1 through 6 that does heat. And I got to wondering, does it make a difference in heat output? I always thought that H6, the fan was running too hard and it cooled down the air. So as you can see, H1, lowest setting, was 144 degrees Fahrenheit. H2, the fan speed picked up and that actually lowered the temperature to 132. H3, there was obviously more fuel being pumped in, but the fan wasn't running as hard, so temperature went up to 212. H4, it appears they got it right that you put in more fuel, you get more heat, and you don't crank up the fan quite as much, giving you 220. Then H5, yeah, you put more fuel in, however, the fan speed picked up so much, it lowered the temperature to 208. And H6 got a little worse. More fuel, fan was running even harder, and the temperature dropped to 206. So at least on my unit, the way I've got it set up, it looks like H4, you get the highest output air temperature. Your mileage may vary. This is what I found in mine.